People Movers, You Barely Want to Hear This is the follow-up to Don't Make This Harder Than It Is, and while both of them had sort of a summer feel to them, this one is very different than Don't Make This Harder Than It Is. How so? I will let you know.
Well, I'm making it back, and I'm lost in this city life.
So first things first, I feel I need to explain my history with Peoplemover, otherwise known as Addison Kowalski. I was a huge fan of his band Streets of Rage when I was in high school, and they're no longer together, but I still enjoy their music. It's a little bit younger. It's kind of hypersexual. It's what you like in high school, I guess, if you know what I mean. And I really particularly loved, and I still love, the way that the vocals are very atmospheric and they kind of like, not echo, but there's a reverb on them that is just awesome. But I have loved his music as he sort of, I don't want to say matured because that sounds lame, but you know what I mean. He's progressed, he's matured, the music has gotten, first of all, the music quality has gotten better, just the songs overall, but also the feel of them has changed over the years. And like I said earlier, the last EP, Don't Make This Harder Than It Is, had a very summer vibe to it, but more like hit the beach with your friends, go to a concert, have fun sort of vibe. Whereas this one has a bit of a summery vibe, however, it's much more lounge around, think about things, lay in a hammock, and contemplate where you're at in life. That sort of feel. And while I personally do really enjoy his more upbeat songs, like on his last EP, Don't Make This Harder Than It Is, I absolutely love the new EP, You Barely Want to Hear This. Want to hear this. Now, I also should say that I have heard demos over the last, I don't even know, it's been a little while that he's been working on this, but I've heard them kind of from, you know, first demo all the way to final cut. So it's very possible that I'm able to appreciate it even more because of that, because I see like how far it came. So keep that in mind. But overall, like I said, it feels very mature. Even though I do feel kind of lame saying that, it feels a little bit cliche to say that, but it does have a maturity to it, and it's almost like if you go from Streets of Rage to Don't Make This Harder Than It Is to You Barely Want to Hear This, it's like a maturity, which is, I mean, it's interesting and it's great, and it makes sense, obviously, because that would be a natural progression with any sort of music, I suppose. And like I said about that kind of reverb on the voice, that's still here, and I love that. I still absolutely love that, and that is kind of like the thing that I know it's a song from Peoplemover or Addison because of that. Like, I'm like waiting for that when I listen to his songs. I'm like, please let there be it. There it is. I just absolutely love that. It feels like it's all around you, and it feels like you're kind of immersed in the song. So I've always absolutely loved that. Now, in terms of music, lyrics, vocals, you know, kind of picking it apart, I enjoy his vocals, I enjoy his lyrics, but I think my favorite thing is the music itself. And that is clearly evident because if you have watched any of my videos over the years, my Creating Nyctophobia videos, for example, everyone always asks, what is this music? This is awesome. And it's Addison's music. So obviously, I really, really love the music, and I love the whole package, but the music is my favorite, definitely. I think that the music is fantastic. Now, to get a little bit more detailed, I'd like to pick out a few songs to specifically discuss. The first one being I'd Hate for You to Think I'm Complaining. Now, this one is, like I said, the kind of contemplating where you're at and, you know, just makes you feel maybe like nostalgic, or it just makes you feel happy for the future, something like that. And I love it. It's kind of got, yeah, like a feeling that makes you want to just sit and think. Written on My Face and Too Old to Grow are the catchier songs, I think, on the EP, while Covered in Cocaine, aside from the title, is the one where it feels very kind of relaxing and like you're lounging on a hammock, like I said earlier. So that really drives that feeling home on the EP. That's the one that I would say, this is what I mean. And my number one favorite is The Tale of Joey Crown. This one is kind of the epic, big song. Not only is it just a great song, but it's got something that I love where there's like an audio clip from a movie or a TV show or whatever, but it's kind of embedded in the song. And I love that. I think that's fantastic. And I almost would love just a full EP of songs like that. But that is definitely my favorite, The Tale of Joey Crown, followed by I'd Hate for You to Think I'm Complaining. And I mean, I like the whole thing overall, but those are my favorites for sure. And like I said, I've been listening to his music for many years now. One of my favorite bands in high school, for real. Streets of Rage was one of my favorites. And so I really appreciate that I've been able to listen over the years and sort of listen to the growth and the maturity, like I said. And while I really enjoyed this EP, I think, enjoy the more upbeat songs, which Don't Make This Harder Than It Is, and Streets of Rage was 100%, but Don't Make This Harder Than It Is was a little bit more fun, whereas this is more thoughtful. And both are great, so, it's a good balance. He needs to make them more often, so we can get more of both. But overall, I really enjoyed People Movers' You Barely Want to Hear This. I did not barely want to hear this. I couldn't make it through the whole thing without saying that, I'm sorry. But let me know in the comments what you think of People Movers' You Barely Want to Hear This. Let me know if you've been a fan since Streets of Rage. Let me know if you became a fan later on. What did you think of Don't Make This Harder Than It Is compared to You Barely Want to Hear This? Do you understand what I mean about how they kind of both have a summer vibe, but the first one is a little more upbeat, and then You Barely Want to Hear This is more lounging? Let me know, if you understand and agree or disagree about that. Also, let me know what your favorite song is, for sure. Let me know anything you want about People Movers. You Barely Want to Hear This, and that's pretty much it.